controversy and Arkavati layout are never far away, and once again the allottees have written to the Chief Minister asking him to intervene and stop suspected denotification of land in Arkavati layout.
Is the BDA once again denotifying land required for the Arkavati layout? Well, that is the speculation doing the rounds. This has forced the Arkavati Layout Allottees Association to shoot one more letter to the Chief Minister. The association has alleged that around 7 acres of land in survey numbers 85/10, 85/8, 76/1 and 76/4 has been proposed for denotification. This has irked residents, many of whom have been waiting for sites for ages now. They have also alleged that this has happened due to the connivance between BDA and builders and have demanded a CBI probe. The land which is going to be denotified is 7.10 acres, with the actual owner taking compensation 2 years back. The actual owner has been given 122 sites as compensation under a 40-60 land sharing scheme. We still stand by our demand for a CBI probe in the matter of deletion and denotification since 2002, when Arkavati layout was called. If a probe is initiated today, land worth more than 975 crores will be recovered. The layout, whose formation has been mired in controversy ever since its inception, has seen its total area come down from 2,750 acres to the current 800 acres. Even a warning from the court has not forced the BDA to finish the allotment process by March this year. Recently, the association had sent messages to PMO Facebook account as well. Will all this bring justice to the site allottees will become clear in the coming days. Harish Upadhyaya, News 9, Bengaluru.
Now, the Right to Education Act was introduced to help economically backward families to get seats freely in private schools. But the implementation of the act is not happening, though it is the 3rd year after it was introduced.
Of course, the private schools across the state had strongly opposed implementation of RTE Act initially, but gradually they fell in line and allowed admissions for economically and socially backward families. Private schools are expected to set aside 25% of the seats for children seeking admission under RTE. Last year, though a few schools refused admissions, the process went along smoothly. But this year, issues have cropped up again. Several private schools are unwilling to provide admissions to children. Some of them are playing minority card and some others demanding fees after providing seats. Department of Public Instruction has directed the schools to introduce lottery systems to provide admissions. But schools have shown scant respect to this directive. The parents had filed several complaints with Education Department, but the officials have not helped them. For the last 4 months, they seldom had come out of their offices to reach to the issues raised by parents.
ಈ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಹೋದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಈ ಹಣ ಕೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಆ ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಹೋಗೋದಾ ಬೇಡವಾ, ಯಾರನ್ನ ಕೇಳೋದು ಯಾರನ್ನ ಬಿಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ದಿರಾ ಈ ಗೊಂದಲ ಸೃಷ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಹೋಗಿ BO ಆಫೀಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇಲಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗಮನ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಅವರು ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಕ್ರಮ ತಗೊಳ್ಳದೆ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಶಾಲೆಗಳು ಖಾಸಗಿ ಶಾಲೆಯವರಿಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಇಷ್ಟಾನುಸಾರ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ದಾರಿ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂಗಾಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಒಂಥರ ಇಂಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಅವ್ರ ಸಹಕಾರ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೇನೋ. ಈ ಒಂದು RTEನಲ್ಲಿ ಸೀಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪೋಷಕರು ಸಹ ಇವತ್ತು ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಶಾಲೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿಸದೇ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಉದ್ಭವ ಆಗಿದೆ.
The irony is department has no information about the number of students admitted to schools under RTE Act. The officials have resorted to give false information about the admissions. There are hundreds of parents who, despite having secured seats, find themselves in a helpless situation. They staged protests in front of Commissioner's office and took their grievances to the concerned minister, Kimmane Ratnakar. But no one has taken any action against a single school so far. The Commissioner again resorted to give vague explanations when we spoke to him.
Several private schools have provided seats to children. Some of the schools have filed a petition in courts claiming minority status. Since the case is sub judice, I would not make a comment on it. Parents have complained about schools collecting fees, and I have directed the concerned DDPIs and BEOs take action.
Lot of issues have surfaced with regards to this act, and the soft corner the officials have towards private schools has created problems to parents. The question is, when does the Education Department set the house in order? Amrita Patil for News 9, Bengaluru.
In what comes as yet another shocker, iron ores is being plundered in the hills of Gadag. Here's a report.
The Belagiri scam is still fresh in public memory. The Ballari mining scam too is fresh in public memory. And now there is one more scam in Namma Karnataka. This time it is in Gadag. Just a stone's throw away from the DC's office in Gadag, ore is illegally being plundered by vested interests. The DC had seized iron ores from Nagavi Hills in 2008-2009. These ores had been kept in their custody, but now these ores are being plundered day in and day out. Not just that, the hills, which happen to be a repository of iron ores, have been amassed. The iron ore available here is of 50-55 grade quality. The moment darkness takes over, you can see JCBs in full action digging the Nagavi hills. DC Prasanna Kumar and officials of Mines and Geology Department, Virupaksha Gowda, had paid a visit to the spot. The DC has also confirmed it, but the department concerned has not taken any action to arrest this ill. Sources suggest that the department concerned and the police are involved in this loot. The confiscated iron ore is in the custody of the Mines and Geology Department. Even in different tribal areas like the Nagavi and Papanashi, huge amounts of illegal iron ore have been looted. In fact, when News 9 got to know of this, we paid a visit to the spot and our cameras only confirmed this sordid tale of mass plundering. But what happens to the plundered iron ore? Well, it is transported to Ginigera and Dharwad.
ಗದಗ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗಣಿಗಾರಿಕೆ ಅಕ್ರಮವಾಗಿ ಅವ್ಯಾಹತವಾಗಿ ನಡೆದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಗದಗ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಜನ ಎಚ್ಚೆತ್ತುಕೊಂಡು ಹೋರಾಡೋದು ಇನ್ನೇನು ಬಹಳ ದಿವಸ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ.
It is high time necessary action is taken to stem the rot. Nation's resources cannot be allowed to be plundered at someone's whims and fancies. Sanjeev Pandre, News 9, Gadag.
Now, it had terrorized the people of Dandeli after trampling 2 men to death, but luckily the forest staff managed to capture it after a month-long operation and sent it to the Sakrebelu elephant camp.
This elephant looks innocent, but as they say, looks can be deceptive. The adage holds just good for this elephant too. Infamously known as the killer elephant in Dandeli, it was captured in Kumbeli village after a 1-month-long operation. The team comprised of 50 forest staff, mahouts and 8 tamed elephants including Balrama, Srirama, Abhimanyu and Gajendra from Mysore and Sakrebailu elephant camp in Shimoga. Mind you, it was no easy task to capture this jumbo elephant aged around 45 years. Towering over 10.5 feet tall, the elephant was deep in the forest. Hence the forest department first brought one tamed elephant called Sagar from Sakrebailu and 4 elephants, Balrama, Srirama, Abhimanyu and Gajendra from Mysore. After putting in tremendous efforts, the killer elephant was tranquilized and captured by the team.
ಶುಕ್ರವಾರ ದಿವಸ 3:30 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಫೈರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅರ್ಧ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಓಡೋಗಿ ಬಿದ್ದಾಗ ಹಗ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಪಕ್ಕ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಭಾಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಕೊಡ್ತಲ್ಲ ಆನೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯರಿಗೆ ಜನರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಮಂದಿ 50 ವರ್ಷ ಇದೆ ಆನೆಗೆ 10 ಅಡಿ ಎತ್ತರ ಇದೆ ಭಾಳ ಕಷ್ಟ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂಜೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೊಡೆದು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
It is learned that this elephant had trampled to death one person in Amboli village on April 7th and another in Avarli village on April 23rd. Hence the forest department had decided to capture the elephant before any more casualties occur. This elephant is one of the biggest elephants captured in recent times. Currently it has been taken to Sakrebailu elephant camp where it will be trained and tamed by the forest staff.
ದಾಂಡೇಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಡಿದಂಥ ಒಂದು ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಎಲಿಫೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಕ್ರೆಬೈಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತರಬೇತಿ ಕೊಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ವಿತ್ ಎಸ್ಕಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಈ ಆನೆ ಈಗ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಸುಮಾರು 4 ತಾಸು 5 ತಾಸು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ರಾಲ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಾಕಿ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ಲಾಗಿ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಈಗ ಹಗ್ಗ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಈಗ ಅದ್ರ ತರಬೇತಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಿಗೆ ಬಂತು ಅಂದರೆ ತರಬೇತಿ ಶುರುವಾಯಿತು ಅಂತಾನೆ.
So for all the visitors who plan to visit Sakrebailu elephant camp in the near future, don't miss out on this jumbo elephant. He will surely be a treat to watch. Baswaraj for News 9 Shimoga.
It seemed to be a mission impossible, but not anymore. Chiranjeevi is all set to create his magic on celluloid, but in a legendary way.
Chiranjeevi's 150th film has been in the news ever since he entered politics. Since his political journey seems to be fading off, the actor has now decided to make grand comeback into films. Brushing aside all the rumors, Chiru has now given a green signal to his mega venture. The clouds over the most talked and awaited flick in Tollywood have finally cleared. If the combination of director and script is set, then the film will take off at rocket speed with no looking back. It was said that Rajamouli will wield the megaphone for Chiranjeevi's 150th flick, but the perfectionist said no and has decided to distance himself from the movie. V.V. Vinayak also refused to helm the mega affair. Sources reveal that Chiranjeevi's 150th film will be helmed by none other than Boyapati Srinu. Boyapati seems to be on cloud nine. The director, who took the box office by storm with Legend, will now make a grand entry into the mega family. Boyapati is known to bring back flop heroes to hit track. He did the same with Balakrishna. It is said that Chiranjeevi and Ramcharan had a detailed discussion with Srinu. The movie is said to be high on mass elements. Since the movie is a comeback flick for Chiru and also his landmark venture, the expectations from this one are certainly high. Our sources reveal to us that Chiranjeevi is making all possible efforts to rule the screen yet again. Expectedly, the actor has been missing the camera, and why not? After all, he rose to fame with it, and seems like his 150th flick is all set to be a family drama. Not just that, Chiru also wants Cherry to be a part of this mega flick. The trend seems to be changing. It was Cherry who wanted Chiranjeevi to act in his films, but the tables have turned this time around. Well, it's no less than a celebration in the mega family. An official announcement on the same will be made on August 22nd, which also marks the birthday of the mega star. So folks, get ready as the mega actor is all set to don the grease paint again and your wait is almost over.